I have here 3 liters that are ready to be bottled. As you can see, there's a couple of figs here, and the figs float to the top once the grains feed off of its sugar. And I've opened one before, and trust me, there's nothing left but the seeds in the figs, and it doesn't taste like much either. Trust me on that. And so here, I'm lifting the insert out. This is where the grains are sitting. And I started with 3/4 cup of grains. And I'm going to show you now. I have the measuring cup here so you can see how much, if any, it multiplied. Now, because the temperature is cooler in my house and we're in the springtime, it's April 1st today. Happy April Fool's Day, by the way. I started out with 3/4 cup. It's just a little bit over. 3/4, yeah. So they didn't multiply that much, but as you can see, the grains are still nice and healthy. And I have to mention too that during the colder season, it's not uncalled for the grains to slow down or almost even hibernate. That's why it takes a little longer. In the summertime, you're looking at about 18 to 24 hours for fermentation. And this time of the year, it takes almost 3 days. I have different bottles here. I need to show you. This is my favorite bottle to carbonate in. Reason being is that it holds an entire gallon, and I leave enough airspace, and it's got a really tight fitting cap. And that's one of the things you want for carbonation. You don't want air getting in there. Although it's good to burp it every 24 hours or so, depending on how much you want it carbonated. These are recycled and reused Perrier bottles. And also, too, save your wine bottles. This is 1.5 liters. The only issue with the wine bottle, especially with a cap like this, is that sometimes it doesn't tighten enough. So you may want to get one of those Glotch caps, the ones with the swing lever that caps it off really, really tightly. Now, for the flavoring, because the fruit at the markets are so expensive, I go very simple. I do ginger and lemon. You could do one or the other. You could even do orange. But I love the ginger because of its anti-inflammatory properties. And what you do is you pour some of the water kefir in your blender. That's probably maybe a couple of cups, I guess. And put all of your fruit and your ginger in there. Now, the amount of ginger, the amount of fruit, for 1 liter, you're not going to add as much. Unless you want something really, really spicy. Because I'm doing 3 liters, that's pretty much as far as flavor, and it's going to be fairly strong. Now, this bottle here still has some remnants of my previous batch of carbonated water kefir. The reason why I'm still using that is it still has a lot of the residue from the ginger, because I never strained it, and it still tastes good. And so I'm going to still use that and mix it with this new batch. Okay, now my mix is ready. I had set the blender on a smoothie setting to pulverize the ginger. Now I'm going to add it to this bottle. And make sure you have, it's great to have a funnel on hand for this, because you're going to need it, especially for the smaller bottles. And just I pour everything in, then pour the rest of the water kefir. Now, I can't emphasize enough that what makes the water kefir carbonate is the fruit. Now, this step you can skip completely and just bottle the kefir the way it is right now if you don't want carbonation. This is a great drink, especially for the summer. It's very refreshing. Great substitute for soda pop too, especially if you have kids who love soda pop. This is very, very nutritious. Gives you probiotics. If you want to know the types of probiotics and natural probiotic enzymes and yeast, go to my website. I have a sheet, an information sheet that lists all the enzymes in water kefir. And there we go. Now this is going to sit on my counter for maybe a day or so, probably 2 days, in order for it to carbonate the way I like. You will notice one thing, especially in these large bottles, the residue from the lemon and the ginger will settle to the bottom once it's carbonated. Leave it there, because that way you won't have to strain most of this. You'll have to strain it near the end when you get to the end of the bottle. For any extra tips, please refer to the instruction sheet that comes with the dehydrated kefir grain package. So if you do purchase them, you could purchase them at TNS Health in Whitby, or at the farmers market. Whitby Farmers Market starts in May 17th, I believe, and I'll be there for the whole season until the end of October. Thank you for watching, and please leave any comments or questions below. I'd be happy to answer them. Stay tuned for part 3, where I'll be showing you how to store your water kefir grains when you're not making water kefir. Thanks for watching.